Hykeem Williams. What do you think, George? It just seems like this
I'm
is the guy
fired up,
everybody's
man.
been waiting for.
Oh yeah. Well, there's people that put together these highlight videos. They look and find out who the draft prospects are, and several of them made highlights of Keon Coleman, and mixed interspersed in there's two or three different Hykeem Williams plays. I mean, he's just that kind of athlete. He's got the size, he's got the top end speed, he's got the agility. He's just that freak of nature outside wide receiver that, like you said, it's been a while till we had Keon Coleman this year. So hopefully we can keep it rolling, and I think he's going to make some big time steps. I don't know if he's your number one tip top guy this year. Maybe that's 2025, but he's going to be a big factor. Who knows? He could end up winning a starting role before the end of the year is over with, but he will definitely make some big plays. Speaking of Keon, and y'all brought up the Ravens and Lamar, I would love to see him go over there. I think that would be a perfect fit. But yeah, Hykeem Williams, he was coming out of high school. He was kind of raw, not raw in that like he's put together. He studies his craft. He's a beast of a wide receiver, but to be such a large guy, the kind of ability to cut and run routes and things like that. It's a little harder than a guy like Van Dravius Jacobs, who showed up out of high school like an NFL route runner, like route tree, just off the book. You see it as soon as he got on campus. Well, Hykeem Williams is starting to put all that together, figure out all the different calls, because like Mike Norvell, all of his pass patterns, they all have checks and stuff, similar to what Jimbo Fisher does, but somehow Mike Norvell makes it a lot more simple. So yeah, I think Hykeem Williams will definitely have a breakout year this year, and I'm a big fan.
James, when you look at Hykeem Williams, what do you see?
I mean, big, fast, physical. You can definitely see pro guy. Good hands, catch rate. He's Keon with more speed. And I don't think he'll be the number one guy, per se. I think he'll be the big play catch guy. And when I told people I look at it like this, you got was it Jaylen Brown? Make sure I'm saying his name right. Big from LSU that transferred in, freshman basically. We got two of the best freshman wide receivers that were in the nation last year. But Jaylen is the guy that's take the top off the defense guy, like much like Malik Benson, who came in from Alabama. That's the guy we want. If I'm not doing this to spite Miami fans, but when we think about when Florida State went down to Miami last time, we had Pokey Wilson ran that post route, take the top off of the defense, keep them honest. We didn't have that guy last year. Johnny was a big guy to catch, big catch radius guy. Keon was an exciting catch guy, could run decent routes and get separation when things were ran right. But neither one of those were guys that were just going to run yourselves open. So now you got that guy Malik. Even if Malik gets 600 yards, but his job is just to run people off. Now you mix him in and he's taller than Ja'Kai Douglas. Ja'Kai Douglas is more built like a running back. That's why he played running back in the bowl game. But again, he's a fast guy, but it's different when you got 6'2" in a 4.4 as opposed to 5'10" in a 4.4. Bigger catch radius. So you got him mixed in. You get your guy, which everybody stopped talking about him. We didn't even know if the kid really existed. Then he finally comes, and everybody's kind of like, forgetting about a wide receiver from Destin Hill. Like Destin Hill. So you get him, you got Destin Hill, and those are guys that believe, like, I joke with my friends, let's do the easy visualization. 4 verticals. Hey, you two run as fast as you can, take what you can take with you. And now you got the big 6'3". What I got his numbers here. It's getting bigger too. What's King? King, yep, 6'2". That boy's like 220 right now. You got the big 6'2", 220-pound guy that's going to run a drag, or he's going to run a dig route across the middle. Your safety's occupied. He's got to keep an eye on Benson because his corner's getting cooked. And now you got this big joker right here, and he catches it. And then this big joker gets moving. We saw what he did with the screen. Now all of a sudden, man, it's a lot of business decisions that get made back there in that secondary. That's why I tell guys, and you got a quarterback with a live arm in DJU. we don't have a jersey guy right now. Like a guy that, like if my son knew he wanted Keon Coleman's jersey after the LSU game.
Mhm.
Like, we knew Trey Benson. We saw what Trey Benson. That's why I say it's more like 2022 than 2023. But man, these rooms are way better from top to bottom. I think George said it in a post or something. Our bottom 40 is so much better than what it was the last 2 years. And our top 40 is just uncertain right now. But our worst players are better. So obviously that increases your floor. So, but I'm just really intrigued into what this season is going to be. But Hykeem is one of those guys that we got to have do well, because that helps you with your JD Frenches. That helps you with like the top wide receivers coming out in the next few classes. Like the only way to counteract it is to show them what the future is. Because man, I've seen Ohio State when Ohio State came in and laid out the case for Ohio State. Shoot, I wanted to play wide receiver for Ohio State too. Like I can't even get mad at the case that was presented. But all you can do is just show them how explosive the offense is and what the future looks like, and showing them how they can do that. But Hykeem is a key part of that.
We're back to 2022 experience-wise, but talent-wise, as he alluded to, double the blue chip ratio, talent across the board. And we don't have those jersey guys yet, but like James talked about with Keon Coleman after that LSU game, by the end of the year, we'll have our jersey guys, whether it's Dustin Hill or Hykeem Williams or Malik Benson or whoever, it's coming, and it's going to be a lot of fun. This is by far and away the most talented team that Mike Norvell has had. Not now the top 12 guys, you can argue as far as the guys heading to the draft, if you have those one by one. But when you look at the recruiting rankings and everything like that, yeah, everybody that is replacing somebody, they were a higher recruit, a better rated athlete than the person that they're taking place of. Now let's see what they can do with that Clay. We've seen that we can do with the 3-star Clay. Now that they're getting these 4 and 5 stars, let's see what they can turn them into. Can you have that same arc, that same development arc? Because if so, it's bad news for the rest of college football.
Folks, when you shop on Amazon, use the link that we provided in the description section. Here's the deal. This is the one way you can contribute to the voice of college football financially without spending a penny. Let Amazon do it. Do your Amazon shopping. Use our link. I was just going through this with somebody last night. They couldn't believe how easy it was. They still went to Amazon and still showed their name, their account. They were locked in on their account, but using our link. That's the one way you can help us support at the Voice of College Football. In the meantime, for all your Florida State coverage and beyond, Big Game James Coleman, Den Media Group, Georgitis, The Renegade Report, and of course, our buddy Chris Frazier out there, Spear Addicts. That's the place to be. And you guys are going to be live on Thursday night, correct?
Thursday at 7 Eastern. Or no, that's Spear Addicts. I'm sorry. Spear Addicts live Thursday at 7 Eastern. 8 Eastern. I'm fucking it all up.
And then you're coming up on Friday, right, George?
Friday at 7 Eastern.
And James, you're with Chris on Thursday, right?
Yep. And then we'll do our show. Then I do Big Games BS on Friday. I'm probably going to do some some spring ball position breakdowns, and I'll be at practice. I won't be there on the first. This will be my first time not being at the first day of spring ball in 5 years. Or I guess this will be year 6, but I'll be there on the second day. So I'll be there Thursday, the 21st, and check those guys out and let people know how I feel. When I told people 2 years ago, like, this is the best first practice that I've seen in a while, it set the internet ablaze. And then, last year I said something similar, and folks were like, hey, they couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. And I'm like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat how I feel about it. I mean, I don't get paid to lie. Like, the Florida State doesn't pay me. So, but at the end of the day, I'm all for it. I mean, I think this is going to be a good team, and people keep talking about. I think people being overcritical because we're in a troll culture. But if I told you it on any level, 3-to-1 touchdown to interception, Mark, you've watched a lot of football. 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio is pretty good, right?
Yep.
That's what DJU has had the last 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll argue with a much less talented team at Oregon State, and did not have the elite wide. Where Clemson's issue has been, and even why you still see old boy struggling right now. Clemson had elite wide receivers. Like, they don't have that guy right now. And they had an elite running back in Shipley, but like even when you took DJU's ability to run away from them, that's really what you want to know why Florida State beat Clemson at home? We didn't have to fear quarterback running. That was the first time we played a while without having to worry about a quarterback being able to take off. And it's not that he wasn't athletic. It's just he wasn't DJU. He wasn't 250. Like, it's a big difference. As a guy who's hit people before, and I think a lot of people play video games too much. It's this thing called physics, like, and stuff like that. 250 fat, 250 solid is 250. And no matter how you hit it, you only want to hit it so many times, especially if it's coming at you full speed. So you don't need a guy to be a first-round draft pick. We've seen that with Jordan Travis. Even if Jordan Travis was healthy, he wasn't going to be a first-round draft pick. He's still probably going to be from, which is crazy, the stuff that I heard at the combine where he may get, where they're projecting him is just insane to me, but in a good way. But if you have a guy that doesn't turn the ball over, scores points, and you play good defense with a good running game, from Pop Warner, flag football, all the way up to the NFL, you win a lot of football games like that. And I think we forget this in this sensationalized, soundbite media clip culture that we've grown accustomed to, that we don't realize that football is actually one of the simplest games that you could actually ever play. Score more points than the other team, and you get a W. And if you have more W's than you have L's, typically that means you're going to be okay.